Do you see people on their devices a lot, and how many people use it?
Oh my gosh, I see people on their devices constantly. Walking down the hallway, in the bathrooms, at lunch, in classrooms. It's constant. I don't really know that there are very many people that don't use devices, whether it be phones or iPods or iPads or.
How long do you think it usually takes them to get off of it?
To get off of it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, how long does it take them to stop using it?
Like if they're addicted to it?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know, because it's such a new thing that there really aren't treatments for it or like counseling for it or that's really a hard question to answer because people who work with addictions aren't working yet with electronic addictions. Interesting question.
What impact does devices have on people?
Oh. I think that people who have electronic addictions are becoming less social. I think that they have a more difficult time relating to people. Conversations don't happen among people as much anymore because like kids text each other. I know for my own children, if I text them, they respond. If I call them, they don't answer. So people have a really hard time, I think, or some people have a really hard time interacting in a social way, being together and having a conversation. I also think that because of the slang that's used in electronics, like in texting, for example, that people's grammar skills are less refined than they used to be. Kids aren't spelling out words anymore, and adults aren't spelling out full words. Your is you are, for an example. So I think that kids have a harder time when they have to speak in complete sentences. We're so used to using the electronics and the social media. It's easier.
Do you have any advice?
If you're addicted to electronics,
Yes.
put it down. Limit yourself to a certain number of hours or minutes, minutes per hour or hours per day that you'll use your electronics. People need to be with other people. People need to read real books. It really is, it's monitoring yourself. So limit yourself. If you have to set a timer, but don't let it consume your life.
Are video games bad for people?
No, I don't think they're bad for people. Anything in moderation is fine. I think if you're playing video games instead of doing homework, it's bad. Or if you're playing video games instead of sleeping, it's bad. Or if you're constantly gaming and only playing with online friends, that's bad. But anything in moderation is just fine.
Do you know anyone that has an addiction to it?
I know a lot of people that overuse it, that are looking at a screen way too much. But I don't know that anybody is diagnosed with an addiction to it. Would I diagnose them? Maybe. But I do know a lot of people who never are without that phone or iPod or screen always at their disposal. And that's unfortunate. Those electronics do some great things for us. They make life a whole lot easier for us. But I think that if people can't monitor themselves and have some self-control, then it just causes problems.
Do you think they should get rid of video games in schools?
In school? Well, what kind of video games are you referring to?
Like violent video games?
Yes. I don't think school is a place for violent video games. If you want to play violent video games on your own time, that's up to you. but I don't think that we should have that in school. I think there's a lot of video games that are perfectly acceptable for in school. There's a lot of learning tools in video games that's fine, but I don't think we need to have violent video